Hi, friends. How was that?
Hello.
Ah!
That was
The
so
bait
good.
bait and switch.
You're a
So
monster.
I wanna make it clear that again, I had decided where and when they were going to strike before you all told me where you were going to send the PCs. I had decided that they weren't actually going to hit the Forge of Fury before you decided that you were going to defend it. So I did not make that adjustment as a result of your as a reaction to your decision.
Okay.
Just so you know. You have
Okay.
no reason to believe me, but just so you know.
Huh.
I choose to believe you.
Here are my
I
notes
believe.
for today.
The doubting Kevin Bonewolf was, just
That was good for me.
really? Gosh, okay.
Also, tactically speaking, this isn't great tactics. This is not a smart thing.
Although we did just learn that the guy in charge of everything over there is an ogre, and they're not entirely known for their intelligence.
Yeah,
Maybe there's
Moria is an ogre, going for
vendetta
the
against
go for
fucking
the head is a
Ornament.
very ogre thing to think.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it. I answered this in chat, but for second though, Ghost is a Path of the Totem barbarian champion fighter. And I picked the bear totem for my rage totem.
Bear is an excellent choice. That damage reduction is super handy, as we saw in this very
psychic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. I mean, I felt pretty clutch with those knocking people prone, and then all the shield drops going like, aha!
Yeah. It was a very, very good fight. That could have gone the other way so easily, especially since like the two biggest damage dealing NPCs outside of Ivan once he blew his magical load, Pykel and Ivan were both, they started at a sliver of HP. Pykel, of course, was able to shapeshift to get a big extra pile of HP because Druid, but like, yeah, that was not like an easy fight. That was not a slam dunk on your part, and I feel like it was balanced pretty well.
But no major NPC casualties.
No, a few non-major NPC, all the choice doors.
The introduction of the blight spell, I think, is what really made this fight, because that was
I've been
the thing.
Sitting on that spell for so long. Like when I was looking at when I was first getting the fourth level spells back in Waterdeep, I was like, I looked at blight and went, yeah, that has to be on the list because Calder hates fucking plant monsters.
Very, very intelligent move on Calder's part. But again, like, Calder has been fighting plant monsters since literally session 0 of level 1. So yes, you're absolutely right. That's a perfect spell choice, I think.
Yeah, so like his rabid hatred of plant life aside,
become a vegetarian with me. Depopulate.
Just being able to delete a 64 HP off of a track with just a save, feels real good.
Yeah, and 32 even with a successful save. So like, even if it had managed it,
you succeeded a save you're at disadvantage at. You only take 32 damage.
Yeah. That was probably the MVP of this particular fight, because you did what, 128 and another 64, 196, I think. You did almost 200 points of damage just off of the blight spell. No notes.
Plus the acid ball, plus
A+, no notes. Blaster sorcerers are pretty OP, especially in larger combat engagements like this one.
Yes. When they have multiple targets.
This is the level where sorcerers really start to hum, and it feels real good.
I also really enjoyed the fact that some of those magical items actually got used. We are at the level where a lot of consumable magical items tend to just kind of sit in the pack and not do anything. So pulling out the necklace of fireballs and throwing those around was really nice.
I'm so glad I looked.
It makes a DM very happy when an item that we dropped for you ends up getting used in a conflict. It feels really nice as a DM. So I'm very glad you did that. That was a lot of fun.
Well, like you said, the night is far from over, and Echo is conserving his own things and using items.
I need at least a short rest. A short rest will do me a lot of good. But
And new character. How's the barbarian life treating you?
I know I like it. I don't have a lot of stuff, and I specifically made a character that doesn't have a lot of bonus actions. Because
true.
my last one was like 98% bonus actions.
Well, and the action surge at the very beginning was really nice, but of course that's a short rest feature, right? So
it is a short rest feature. I used it, and then I wasted one of my attacks, but that's fine. That's okay. That's normal.
yeah, I mean that's just the way the dice roll sometimes, right?
Well, that's the way that forgetting that you don't have the feat that you were intending to put on in the next level yet is what happens.
Yeah.
Like, it happens. I was a little.
You were eager. You were eager.
But it's not happening. Oh, excuse me. I have to deal with the cat. Just a moment.
Yeah, the cat's been weird today. He's been super like I don't know, crazy today.
We got to also see how the general fight is going, and Anton's off to go steal some glory, I think.
He is attempting, and I was actually really proud of this when I was thinking of it while I was like taking a walk in the almost rain, thinking like, okay, so I'm Anton, right? I want to avoid unnecessary risk unless the risk that I take is going to get me a massive reward. If I can somehow get myself so that I both am known as the guy who led the charge and the one who killed the enemy commander, then that would just add to my mystique and my reputation, right? I was in two places at once. I led the charge and I decapitated the enemy. It seems like a very Anton thing to do.
It's as mentioned, this is like it's not a thing he could pull at every fight, but pulling it off here is win-win for him. Either he looks like a tactical genius because he successfully fooled the enemy as to where he was, or he looks like a tactical genius because he managed to overwhelm the enemy and kill the enemy commander and was two places at once. Either way he wins.
So in the next session, assuming that we stick with the player characters, there's a lot going on for this full moon. So we do have other scenes with other characters that we're going to be pulling from. But the next game that involves the player characters, we are going to continue the Anton story, side story, in much the same way, without doing a whole lot of dice, without doing a whole lot of like really complicated maneuvering, just some descriptions, a little bit of randomness just to see how it goes, and then mostly just cutscene description, right? Because these aren't your characters, and your characters don't even necessarily know this is happening. This is more for the benefit of you as players and, of course, the viewers.
Curse roll?
Curse rolls.
Oh, yeah, curse rolls. We'll do those probably at the beginning of the game next time. I don't feel like doing them right now. We're just going to go ahead and assume that everyone who is still alive, unless you're a PC, because I don't think all the PCs got attacked by werewolves, all of the NPCs are going to have to roll, because I'm assuming that everyone was injured when you got there. Just because Fantasy Grounds, for some reason, forgot the damage that I put on there, which actually ended up not being too bad. I think it may have...
That might have happened when you reloaded.
Maybe. When it may have extended the combat by a round or two, but it wasn't super bad, so it ended up being okay.
The NPCs that would have been most affected by it weren't, because Pykel just turned into a bear, gets a bunch of HP. His brother was never really a central target of the werewolves in a way that would put him in danger. The king was never in danger. The Sven was hurt but never in danger in that fight. Even the priest kind of got away scot-free. Yeah,
because you were there. Because all of you were there, and that's the thing that I want to make clear, especially to the.
I love their perspective on this. How they they're surrounded by werewolves, then all of a sudden acid consumes an enemy and a bunch of people show up.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think that bringing the player characters in was the tactically correct thing to do. And I don't see it as a bad thing, leaving, a captain of the guard in charge with the guards in the Glitterhame. I don't think that's such a bad tactical decision.
Well,
Yeah,
and
but-
Creetha and Vic are still back there.
And I
It's
did
just that
check
Calder
in.
does not have the fondest estimate of Kevin Boldwolf's tactical ability.
And I did check in with M and sort of watched back on some of the Rugged Tumble Werewolf episode just to see, did we give a time when they made their way back to the camp? And we kind of didn't. We knew that they were out for a few hours at least, and we know that you were sitting on that ridge for a few hours at least. So it kind of lines up just fine.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out pretty well. I like how we have all these different sort of scenes going on in different places that are intersecting in small ways, and it's nice. It feels like we're putting together a TV show rather than me blindly trying to ad-lib my way through a bunch of encounters.
I would say looking at the Rugged Tumble Werewolf session, they left right before moonrise. Right?
Yeah.
And then by the time that they were on their way back, the moon wasn't all the way up in the sky neither. It was maybe like a total of 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Of them being out there. So that's completely logical.
Seems reasonable to me.
And how much money did I win off these dwarfs?
I mean, we got a lot of toss a coin to your PCs.
Yeah, in addition to the toss of coins, I'm going to say you'll be able to fleece 15 gold off of each of them. So I said there were 3, right?
Yeah, that's
so we'll say 40. We'll say you managed to partially by beating them and partially by very quickly gathering up the pot when it's time for you to go.
I said I would give it back to him. It's fine.
We'll say you picked
What
up
did you
45
call it?
gold plus whatever
Jimothy?
toss of
I
coins
called
we've
him
got.
Timothy, yeah. Called him Timothy. There are 8 toss of coins, but I think some of them are from last week. We have at least 2 from last week and 1 from last month.
Okay.
So
I am going into the party sheet and I'm just dropping 80 gold onto it. Please go ahead and get rid of the notifications.
Get rid of them.
I think we're pretty much coming up on the end. We still have a long way to go in this particular arc. We've got at least 2 or 3 more sessions while the full moon is still in the sky. So if you're enjoying the action, the intrigue, the suspense, you should definitely be here in 2 weeks, which is, checking the calendar really quick, the 10th.
Next year.
The 10th of January, 2023, which sounds like a fictional made-up year.
Yep.
I gotta say, fucking Vesper.
Oh, and what I've got planned for him is...
So funny.
What I've got planned for you and him is so good and so bad, and I'm really looking forward to it because, yeah.
I like how he completely missed the point. He's like, I was rude. I said something that was insensitive. And Echo's like, you're still not getting off your goddamn ass and dealing with the problem.
Again, I have... When we get to the end of this and you find out what Vesper's been up to, you're gonna not necessarily change your tune on him because he's still an ass, but... At the very least, the get up off your ass and do something will go away once you find out what he's been up to in this time.
Right.
Well,
But right
It'll
now,
be-
Echo just thinks he's waiting in Waterdeep for Echo to check in on him instead of doing anything.
Badly.
To paraphrase, there are no chairs in the Emerald Enclave. There are only fences to sit on.
What did y'all think of Nalmani?
I loved her.
I love Ghost. I love them so
Ghost is
much.
it's so much fun to watch. It's also like fun to interact with because it's just like I don't know what the hell you're going to say next, but I'm so eager to find out.
They're a character, a hell of a character.
Well, and whenever you bring in a brand new person, you always have to like try to establish the character very quickly, and I think you did a great job with that. They've got a ton of personality. The character sheet as a barbarian fighter is fairly simple, but also, as you could see, very effective. And I definitely see Ghost as being one of the big damage dealers and quip throwers of the next several sessions.
Not to mention, we finally have a true tank.
Thank
Thank God.
you. Bro, listen.
This
Listen,
doesn't
I
feel.
have a
This doesn't
99
feel
hit
real. I don't
point.
know what you're talking about. Like you're not supposed to have like HP above 50, right? That makes sense.
I have 99 hit points, and the
Just
first hits were 1. And I was like, I could take this whole fucking day.
Just as Echo, who has been functioning as like melee and off tank this whole time, like he's like, oh thank fuck, we have someone who can take a hit.
Again, barbarians. Barbarians are so
Barbarians are
good.
fucking terrifying. Well, and I have levels of fighter because I was like, you know what I want? I want to crit with a 10% chance. I want a 10% chance to do crit.
And I just have this souped up pile of attacks. So it's attack. Either one of them has a 10% chance of hitting. You'll hit him eventually.
I only got 2, but it's fine.
And you still have the utility of like second wind and
Action
surge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's the pairing of fighter and barbarian is very good.
And for unnecessary fun, right? I picked aspect of the elk for my aspect feature, which does give me that extra 10 foot of movement.
Yep.
So I'm moving faster than your average person, but also I have the ability to, if we're doing overland travel, double our fucking movement speed.
Oh.
Most of our overland travel is done via sky these days, but I think that might still count.
It does work anyway, I think.
I mean, if you're still going over
Get
land.
Delaney on a broom. She'll fly 70 feet.
It counts for mounts.
And besides, like I don't think Kretha enjoys flying, so I don't think.
Give me a second.
But yeah,
He's going after your food.
Yes, it was lovely to get to talk to Alestriel again, get some answers, some more intel on things, especially right before the big battle kicks off.
And that was a thing that I was gonna. The reason I asked you is because I wanted to seed the information of where the general was, because obviously Anton would not be able to make that move if he didn't know where the general was. I had an entirely separate strategy ready to go in case you didn't share that information for one reason or another. But
I'm just
yeah.
Sorry. I'm just sad that Calder didn't get to have his final parting words to Anton before the battle, which would have been like casting Dream before he passes out for the night to Anton to say, I just want you to know, brother, that from the very bottom of my heart, fuck you.
We'll get there, baby.
We still got time.
And in the dream, like the clouds in the distance form a perfect simulacra of a giant middle finger looming over and pointed directly at Anton.
Too good.
Also, like, we got a little bit of it with Ghost's, backstory tie-in, but like Xanathar's dead?
That was new.
What?
That's some details we're gonna need to find out.
Big riot happened, lots of the fighters got away, and he's dead. Don't know if those two are directly correlated.
Well, I'm trying to like trace a timeline. Like, when did this happen? Because it sounds like it happened like several weeks ago.
Well, because Nihilor attacked us about
a few weeks ago.
3 to 4 weeks ago outside of Mirabar. But Illustrial made it sound like it was a little more recent than that.
Yeah.
It might have been.
So I don't
You know.
Like, so he died fairly recently, but like I don't know, because there was a riot and people left. That could have happened. Like, was his death connected to the riot in any way? We don't know.
Ooh, were the defenses weakened because Nihilor was off trying to find our ass?
That's also possible.
Not know.
Or was
did he die and not get resurrected because he didn't have his stupid staff with him?
And was your like being able to make a deal with him and get away, like maybe that was a catalyst? I don't know, because I am planning on running Dragon Heist at some point, and it might be interesting to have another group of PCs interacting with it and interacting sort of tangentially with your characters off to the side, and have a thing happen. Maybe not. I have not decided what to do with it yet, But yeah, I mean, I don't know whether Ghost and Gallic and Thorn were the ones who like instigated the death of the Xanathar, or if they just were able to take advantage of the chaos and flee. Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know, and I'm looking forward to it. I did want to tie up that loose end before the full moon started proper, because there's too much going on right now for me to have that many plots going at once. But also it gives a great opportunity for perhaps another role playing group to interact with the story in a way.
I do want to say the hesitation on Echo's part when he got the news and he wasn't immediately like, fuck yeah, but he was like, I guess that's okay. It's like
Well, as Kreitha knows, this is not the first time the Xanathar has died.
Yeah, but it's the like, it's that the one that we knew about versus whoever the fuck's in charge now.
Yeah,
like sort of a thing. Yeah. And
Like,
also Echo's like, I put all that work into flirting with the one beholder, and now who the fuck's I gotta flirt with?
Question for Calder. Do ghosts get to see the animals?
Oh yeah, ghosts will get to meet the
Got a kitten? I would like to see the kitten, please.
I have no power whether or not the kitten appears.
I would like to see the kitten, please.
5 random rolls. If one of them is I think it's like one of them is
one of them's a panther.
One of them is the panther, and so like
Okay.
5 random rolls. Give me my animals.
Well, I mean, maybe hold on, because the night's not over yet.
They last till dawn. So
Yeah. I mean, if you get the giant fucking moose, I think that thing could, go to town fighting for our side of things.
Like the giant elk, absolutely. And if like depending on what I get, like I could absolutely turn something into like a mosasaurus or something.
Polymorph, baby.
Because like it's polymorph's a bitch, and like a lot of surprisingly big things are beasts.
Yes.
At very low CR. Like I think that I found like a gargantuan sized CR 1/4 at some point. It's
That's
one of the dinosaurs, and unsurprisingly, it's a dinosaur. So
unsurprisingly, yeah. But, yeah. I'm glad that you guys like Ghost. I did a voice.
I do sincerely
I
like Ghost.
I like Ghost. I like the voice. I like the whole vibe.
Okay.
If they were not in the middle of a battle right now, I think Echo would be flirting so fucking hard. But the night is young.
The night is young. I like the concept of Echo and a Ghost doing like performance-y stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, but I like how the Ghost is still in the mind of like gladiatorial combat, and I'm just like
fighting.
circus, no blood, circus.
Hey, real quick question: where did circuses come from?
Good point.
I bet you Echo doesn't know.
But I can tell you that nobody does.
So the knight is young in game. However, here in real life, the knight is wearing
because I have to go to work.
Wearing late,
Yeah.
and M actually has to be at work in just over 2 hours. So let's go ahead and go around and do the things that we had fun with, and the person that we think most deserves inspiration, which is going to be a big deal for the next session.
Well, none of us used ours.
That's right. You keep forgetting to use the inspiration. So we'll just do a normal shout out at this point, since none of you used your inspiration.
Sir, I haven't rolled a single D20 offensively this entire game.
That's true. You just threw around a whole bunch of saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, why don't we go ahead and start with you? What was your favorite part, or what was something you had particular fun with, and what's a player character you want to give a shout out to?
Making you read the blight spell. That was probably my favorite part. And just like, it's like saying, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And I like keep reading. And like you get to the line of text like, oh, it's a plant or plant related creature. It does max damage, saving throw disadvantage. Oh, that's fine.
I have never seen a more appropriate spell, both mechanically and thematically, taken by any spellcaster ever.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense in every conceivable way that you took that spell.
Like, Calder kind of wants to revisit the Sunless Citadel just so he can go up to that fucking big tree and spam blight until it's gone.
Well, I mean, we burned it into ashes, so it's a little.
And I want to salt the earth because fuck that. And like, frankly, it's going to be at this point when it comes to fucking Vesper, I'm like a good like 20% chance I cast Blight on him on principle. So,
Just for
but
funsies.
yeah, just for fun. But but no, making you read that line of text and then spamming it, like getting to use it 3 times in one combat was real sweet, and I liked that descriptor at the end of because Calder's been invisible the entire fight, just gone, and then appearing finally, and it's to just erase a plant off the earth.
Just
Love
the light
it.
of the full moon illuminating you.
Yeah,
The bad guy in Order of the Stick, which was written under 3.5 rules, but it still applies, is a lich who was a sorcerer. And he was like, wizards always get like the good reputation because they're so flexible and utilitarian. But when it comes to taking one spell and doing it over and over and over and over again, you can't beat a sorcerer. You just can't.
No.
And that's true in 5th edition too.
Yep, it does. It's one of the main features of their class. Their spell slots, their ability to spam a spell over and over and over again just doesn't stop.
It's amazing.
Also, yeah. As for thing I had fun with, just the tactical planning at the start of the session, like the entire way of handling the tactical planning has been a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing how that further continues to manifest. But yeah, Calder getting to hang out with his at this point best friend and deal like tactical planning in a place he used to love, now in a place he hates, like just to protect protecting the Citadel, and then it was just a very good thing.
I agree.
So my nomination would go to Olivia if that in any way is relevant.
Speaking of Olivia, something you had particular fun with and a player character you want to give a shout out to, please and thank you.
Oh man, I really enjoyed the bait and swap of the I had a feeling like something just wasn't gonna go, no plan survives contact with the enemy, but the getting to come into the middle of the battle in media ray, and especially Echo did some pretty cool shit, so getting to be the hero that's arriving at the last minute and turning the tide was a very good feeling, and we'll probably need to ride those good feelings as the night drags on.
When the full moon rises, don't look to the north, don't look to any direction, look to that particular tent.
Right. It was a lot of fun to because we were talking about none of the PCs took a hit. We really got to come in and just fucking turn the tides and roll over these people and fix this immediate situation. That was a lot of fun.
Like Gandalf.
A little bit. I had a lot of fun with that, and I just gotta say I am absolutely loving Ghost and all of your choices with their background, how they talk, how they interact. It is so fun to get to see them and to see them in this context too. We're not meeting them on the side of the road. We're not meeting them in a tavern. We're meeting them hey, I've been conscripted, let's go battle. And just kind of seeing them in this context rather than any other one, I think is really showing off their good side. And I'm enjoying that.
Very good himbo jock energy.
That was the vibe I was going for. It's just I'm here to fight because fighting is fun. Also, I'm really good at it though.
If I get the feeling that if we had met Ghost at like I said, on the road, at a tavern, at a ball, they might be just insufferable. But because we met them in the middle of a battle and we need someone to fight with us, they are golden.
Oh, as an unrelated side note, Ghosts use all pronouns.
Yeah.
Really quick, Wiz, very glad that you're here. Glad you've been lurking. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate you very, very much as always. And I'm sure I'll see you on your stream before too long as well. M, tell me a little bit about what you had fun with. Give me a player character you want to shout out.
Okay, let's see. Well, I had a lot of fun with the introduction of Ghost. It is a blast for me to be able to play kind of just like a
stick
stupid
jock?
Character. The stat block wise, that those social stats, they are the low ones.
You've got people for that now.
I don't have to do that shit. I have no smarts and not so many street smarts neither.
I also feel like when doing like gladiatorial specific kind of performances, that should really be a strength performance rather than a
That's what I
charisma
was
performance.
figuring. I do have I do have proficiency in it. So I'm not like worried, but I mean depending on the performance, like
Yeah.
switching it to strength makes sense. But I have no intelligence skills at all. I don't know shit. But we got a nerd. We have a nerd. He's perfect. I don't have to do the thinking.
It's like, oh, someone appreciates my nerddom.
Yay. As an unrelated side effect, the 20 strength that I had to pat you on the back, it might have knocked the wind out of you a little. Ghost also does not look like they have a 20 strength. Or a 17 con.
Elves are elves. It happens. They're wiry, very wiry.
The Spider-Man type.
Yeah, very, very Spider-Man type, but doesn't wear tight enough clothes to show it off. In most situations, I have a tendency to go very like the only body parts that are showing are hands and face. So like with most of my characters, so I've realized that. And that's fine.
You gotta keep something, little mystery, you know. Not everybody.
We're not out here wearing gray sweatpants, guys.
Well, I mean, maybe your characters.
Actually, I feel like Ghost would, but that's just because it matches color scheme. But I had a lot of fun with that. I think that the interaction with both of them about like, okay, but did you do murder to the Xanathar conversation was probably my above, like around sub bit that I liked. So I can't say between the two because they both had really good lines in that. So I'm sorry.
That's not a good answer, but it is an answer.
It is very accurate,
and
if nothing else.
One you're getting.
Let's go ahead and do our plugs. I will start this time. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at MathDemigod. I am also theoretically putting a YouTube link into chat right now so that you can find our backlog. Our backlog has hit like 120 hours worth of content at this point. So if you find the Bad Decisions Club playlist on my YouTube channel, you can take us all the way back to level 1 when we were first getting together for the Sunless Citadel and just track the progress all the way up. So if you missed out on stuff, you can always follow us there. I also stream on the poor cat. No, not the poor cat. Poor you have to deal with the cat.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. And on Saturday, I do like a either retro game or backlog stream. And on Sunday, I do Skyrim. And then next Tuesday, I'll be playing Pathfinder. And then, of course, the Tuesday after next, we will be back here again for Bad Decisions Club. Let's go ahead and have Jeff give me your pluggables, please, and thank you.
Yes. Occasionally you can find me at Still Tired and Angry on Instagram and TikTok, where when I am not swamped by holidays and work and family, I will post pictures of art and me doing the art. Thank you.
There's a lot of that going around. Gail, Gail, give me your pluggables, please.
I have a Tumblr, put it in chat, and Measure of Separation. It's purposely misspelled. Purposely. And that's where I put all of my fan art. That's why I link all of my animations and animatics that I do, whether or not they're canon. So go and check out some stuff there. There's a lot of echo.
And finally, M, where can people find you, follow you?
I am One Silver Key on all the places. I have not been able to stream recently because I do the retail jobs. And the retail jobs eats my autistic ass soul. So
makes sense to me.
I will hopefully be streaming again come January, but I don't know.
To be announced.
We'll see how it goes.
But make sure to check them out on Twitter at One Silver Key, because then you'll be able to find out when they. Yes, I saw that too.
It does.
All right,
It's
we're
the
out of here,
opposite
friends.
of
Thank you
that.
very much for being here. We will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great one, and take care.